Hey guys and girls, welcome back to another beautiful video on this beautiful channel on this beautiful day. How you guys and girls doing? Hope you're doing great as always. Please check out the description box for all the nice links. Also drop a like, subscribe if you like the content. So here we are, we're going to work on the editor mode for the enemy spawner. Now I just want to clarify something. I got a question from a close friend asking about the enemy spawner and why don't we just go ahead and spawn our enemies on the map, right? Now, when you're making an open world, I'm sure there are different approaches to this, but my approach is usually to have a tile that is associated with all the enemies it spawns, right? So we can keep track of them. So if it goes out of view, if that goes out of, if the player is far away enough from that tile, all the enemies are going to de-aggro, go back to the tile and despawn. So basically that's how I'm doing it. So we don't have to update that tile so much. And just updating tiles far away off the screen and kind of doing these things costs a lot of overhead, right? It's going to cost a lot of performance. And also having a bunch of enemies on the map, on a big map like that, after you have about 100 enemies animating and moving around, you're going to have a big problem. So you don't want to do that. So pretty much having a tile associated with enemies is going to help us solve that problem. But we still aren't, I'm still not 100% clear on how I'm going to do it, but I have done it before, so I'm just going to have to backtrack and make sure it works somehow. But our first step is to add these enemy spawners to the game. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to steal a few things from the default editor mode, and we're probably going to need the cursor text, probably the sidebar, the texture selector, or the selector rectangle at least. Probably not this. Collision type layer, whatever, we'll just keep it at this for now. We'll just make sure something prints out onto the screen from that mode. And then we need to make a way to change the mode to the enemy editor mode. So we're going to do both those things, hopefully today. I'm just going to go ahead and open up these two, the CPP and the H file, and go ahead and paste some stuff in here. So I have the cursor text, we have everything. Now, you know me, I like to copy paste shit, so I'm just going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to look at what is important. Update, render. Okay, so let's just go ahead and make a little private function here. Void init GUI. Like that. And that's pretty much going to hold all of these things. Just define that real quick. Hopefully I am recording. Yeah. Okay. So once that's done, you want to go ahead and just take this function in default editor mode and just go ahead and copy the text thingy and maybe the sidebar and the selector rectangle. We don't need that. Select the rectangle. We don't need to set a texture to it either. We just need all of this stuff. Whoops. You just want to put that right in there in the init GUI function. Initializer functions. Constructors, destructors, and then functions. Okay, cool. All right, so that's one step at least. At least we're kind of working on this. So we have the font as well through state data, pretty much, right? Editor state data. Yeah, pretty much. And most of the code should just be able to copy over from default editor mode because it's an editor mode. It works the same way as our other one does, so shouldn't be a problem. The only thing we need to do is kind of call these functions. Oh yeah, init variables as well. That could be a great thing to have. Void init variables. Okay, and it will be empty right now, but I'm sure we'll be able to fill this up pretty quick. Especially with all these type variables and stuff we're gonna need. Once we do that, yeah, there you go. So one thing we're gonna have to do, I'm sorry about this, we're gonna have to move these two things pretty much over to the editor mode itself and also the type, because all that's gonna be handled outside. Now the reason we did this in default editor mode is just because I was dumb and I copied it over, and that's actual functionality that shouldn't be there. or at least type could stay here, but I think layer and tile add lock, these two things will go over. So that's cool. All right, so editor mode. Here we go. Very simple. Now we're just gonna make sure we can print those out. We don't have to do anything in update input really. Update GUI. Let's see. Select direct, blah blah blah. Yeah, texture selector, get active. All right, so that is cool. We're probably gonna need this. You know what? Let's just see what we're doing. Select direct, probably gonna need this. So let's just copy this first. This is going to be something that positions the text. Whoops, positions the text. Select the rectangle, texture rectangle. Oh no, that selects the rectangle. Sorry about that. Hold up. There, this is what I want to do. Okay. My bad. Okay, so we're just gonna use this, and this is going to just position our selector rectangle where we want it to be. Also, the cursor text set position, we're probably gonna use that as well. We don't need this just yet, but eventually we will. But I'm just gonna save that for now. Use the text here. What I want to do right now is I just want to make sure everything updates properly. Update GUI. This update input DT. What do you want? What does this want in my life? It does want DT. Oh, my bad. I'm dumb. There we go. Okay, so there we go. Now, here we just want to do this. Render GUI. What do you want? Target. And here, we want to do target.draw. This select a rectangle. And target.draw this cursor text. Okay, so once that's done, we should actually be able to see those without any issue because we do set them right here. Just make sure you don't have anything that sets the texture rectangle here. It might mess something up. So as long as that's okay, we're good. Now I'm just going to add some random text to this. So I might as well just copy this. I'm just going to go ahead and copy this, put it right in here, right below. Like that, and then we're probably not going to need these right now, so I'm just going to do that pretty much. Boom, boom, just so we have something to print out and we can see where it's at. So once you do that, you should be good. Now we can render it and everything. Now we need a way to switch over to this mode. And the way I've done it is in editor state, I have a bunch of modes that we can add. Now, init modes should be a thing. Hopefully you have that right here. And what I'm going to do is I have this at the first spot, and then I'm going to push back the enemy, what's it called? Enemy editor mode. Enemy editor mode. Okay, so we're gonna have to include that as well. My bad. Include enemy editor mode. Editor state data class enemy. Okay, something like that. Whatever. So once you have that, we're gonna actually create one. Let's just do that right now. Let's add a new item, and let's make it a header file, and let's call it edit modes.h, and here we're just going to remove that, and we're going to do an include editor mode, default editor mode, include enemy editor mode. And once you do that, collection of editor modes. Once you do that, let's see. Editor mode. Where is that header file? There's probably a better way to do this. I'm going to look into it, but for now, this is all right. It should be at header files. Am I dumb? Am I missing it? Where is it? I forgot the... Here we go. What? Excuse me? Editor modes. Oh, there it is. Okay. All right. I guess. You know what? Doesn't matter. And then we're just going to go into editor state. Editor state, wherever it is. And just include that instead. Include editor modes. And that will just make sure we include everything from one file. Once that's done, we should be able to do what we were doing. Keep going. So it wants the default, okay, the enemy editor mode. Now we need to just, again, include, just look at this. So enemy editor mode. Enemy editor mode. Default editor mode. Enemy editor mode. Default editor mode. Now it's going to complain. Okay, but that's okay. We don't need that right now. What we need in here is we need a editor state data, editor modes. Okay. Int or unsigned active mode. And we need to set that to a default value. It's very important. So init variables. Or do we do this in init mode? So we got to think a little bit. It's kind of a tricky area here. But if we do it here, this active mode equals default editor mode. And then editor modes. Okay, pretty sure. Editor modes. Default editor mode. Okay, good stuff. Good stuff. All right. Now, to change this, we're going to have to use some type of input. And I don't know what we're going to do, if we're going to use some buttons or whatever we're going to do. But we're going to have to do it somehow. So this active mode is going to be updated and also rendered. So this active mode, render. Now to change it, like I said, we need to go into the, where's the input? Update editor input. Okay, here we go. So we're moving stuff around. We're doing some stuff. Let's go into to our files and let's see what we have. We need to go into config, editor state keybinds, edit with notepad, and then supported keys, edit with notepad or whatever you want to edit with. Whoops. Notepad. I usually use this. I don't know. I like that. Okay. So supported keys. Up, down. What do we have? Editor state. So increase type, up, down. Okay, cool, cool. What we need to do. Page up. PG down. PG up, PG down. So we need to find out the keys for that. SF keyboard page should be a P. Page up. Page down is 62. Page up is 61. Okay, page up is 61. Page down is 62. So we'll just save that. Page down, page up. Because I think that's how they spelled it. So now we have that in our supported keys. Now we can use that in here. So editor state keybinds. Let's see, what should we call it? Mode up is page up. Mode down, page down. Okay, so that's great. Once you do that, you should have your keybinds ready to go. Now we can use that in here. So if is mode up, we will do this. If this active mode is less than this modes.size -1. All right, because that's 1 to the left of the last element. Then we're gonna do this active mode plus plus. Else else if this active mode is larger than 0, we'll do this active mode minus minus. Else std cout error editor state cannot change mode. Something like that. No, that's mode up, my bad. Cannot change mode, that's good. Else if, there we go, that's where we're gonna set the minus. So we're just gonna do a little if here. And we're gonna make sure we see that. Down, cannot change mode up, just so I know what's going on. And then we're gonna add the keybind. Okay, I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, I guess that's right. And then just all of that. Editor mode down. Then we're gonna just go down. Perfect. Perfect. So hopefully this should work. This shouldn't be a problem. So yeah, we'll see how that works. Anyway, what we need to do is we need to create a GUI element. We could do that later, but let's just try this out first. Let's see if it even runs. And then probably in the next video, we'll make a little text thing that shows some general GUI stuff. So here we go. Let's just load the file. Okay, so page up, page down, page up, page down, page up, page down. Does not crash if I spam, but that does work. So I'm changing the editor modes, although this isn't really working properly as it should. I think that is because, yeah, that is because some kind of a mouse position error. I'm not updating something, probably. Most probably. Probably not setting the view when we are rendering. So what you want to do is you just want to copy this, set default, get default view. And you want to make sure you do that when you render everything. So let's see, editor state data view when we draw that. So that's dependent on the view. And everything else is dependent on the default view. So let's just do that before we end. Let's go down to render. So I think the select the rectangle and the cursor text is going to use that view, most probably. Let's try this again. Final time. No. Okay, so now that works. Still load into here. And that works. So now I can see my text and also my tile. Oh, I want to add some tiles. Whoop. Okay, now I want to add some enemies. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, cool. Working really nice and dynamic, just like we like it. All right. Feels great. No, I do not want that. Okay, guys, girls, thanks for sticking with me during this. In the next one, probably we're gonna add some default stuff to the regular editor mode, and also, hopefully, this is still okay. Yeah, and then we'll add some more stuff basically. And here you go. It's a little longer video, just because I'm not adding videos as often right now, since I'm, yeah. I got too much stuff to do, but Eventually, we'll get back to it on regular schedule. But thank you so much for your support anyway. Thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking with me for so long. And all the nice comments as well. Yeah, I'll try to get to your questions as soon as I can. Take care. Keep learning. And I'll see you guys and girls in the next one, all right? Bye-bye.